Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you how to build your first ever model airport, make it look nice and neat, and do it the right way, because I did it the wrong way, but I can tell you guys how to do it easier and make it look like mine, but a different setup. So let's get started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is know your cost of your material. So let's write this down. So let's write all this down real quick. Alrighty, so now that we got our costs down, so this is all for the basic stuff and none of like the little small details and all of that. So for our wood, 50 through 100, depending on where you buy it from, which is the board that you build everything on, which is just a piece of plywood that you can get from Home Depot. Do not get laminated and do not get normal plywood. Get a nice smooth plywood. I'm not sure what this one's called that I have it on. Paint could be 100 through 300 for the spray paint, because I would do about 3 to 5 coats on your tarmac of the textured Rust-Oleum paint, and then for the black we only did 2 or I think it might have been 3 coats of their black spray paint, but get the concrete textured for the tarmac. And then for our grass would be 18. Our grass is nice and textured too. And then yeah, the planes depends, and if you want, I don't want to bore you, so if you want to pause this and read all of that, you can do that. Our total for all of our basic stuff is $450 for all of our beginner stuff. So let's run through how to actually build it. So I'm gonna pause the video and make a map. So first, we want to know how big you want it to be. So my perimeters, or my area, whatever you want to call it, so this is 6 feet long by 3 feet. So let me do something. Okay, so now that we got our block down out of our airport, and I'm showing you how to build this my way if you want your airport to look like this or decently similar. So my airport is 3 feet by 6 feet, so every 3 of these squares is 1 foot, so which would mean every one of these is 4 inches. So I'm not gonna exactly do a whole ton of math, but if I were you, I'd probably get a piece of graph paper if you would like to follow along with this, and we can do this here. So give me 1 sec. Alrighty, so my drawings aren't the prettiest, but so basically this is how you'd want to lay it out. We've got, and you can measure all this and customize yourself. I'm just showing you basically what to do. So that's pretty much the layout of my airport, and I'm actually just confused because I forgot why I'm showing you this. So let's just actually move on how to build it. So basically what you're gonna want to do first is obviously map it out on paper to your measurement. For mine is 3 by 6 feet. I actually regret making it 3 by 6 feet. I think I should have made it 4 by 8 feet, because I would have had room to make another terminal right here instead of it just being that one. But I'm gonna try to shift all that over that way and make one there. But yeah, so anyways, so what I'd do first is I'd map it out and do all the math and measuring. The math, I was doing a whole straight day of math to figure all this out, like sitting there with a piece of paper, my calculator, for a whole straight day of mapping all this out. So I put a little bit of effort into it. I'd put effort into it too if you want your very first model airport to look good like mine. Well, somebody could say that my airport looks crappy, and someone could say it's the best thing that they've ever seen, but just for my preference, I'd say it looks awesome. So measure it all out, and then I think we used about 6 cans of spray paint, but if I were you, I'd buy about 9, which should cost you $140-ish. But if you're on a budget airport, don't watch this video. But if you have enough money for that and you want to actually put effort into it, keep watching. So what I would do is I regret it, because under this grass it's just plywood, because I put masking tape all around that. But what I would do if I were you guys, spray paint this whole area with that concrete stuff, except for where the airport buildings go. Why? Well, because if you ever change your mind on your airport and you want to, let's say, rip out all of that grass and add a big terminal there instead of military, you would have to spray paint all that again and do a bunch of masking tape and a bunch of hard work for just the littlest thing, and it's just not worth the effort. So do all of that, but do not do where you put your runway. Spray paint that then. And next, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves when we build this. So then next, go on Amazon order some model train grass, like the rolls of it. Get about 2-ish rolls. That's how many I needed, but you get. So this is what 2 rolls will get you. If you want to look at that and decipher how many rolls you have. It depends on what company. I forgot the company that I got this from. I could go check real quick, but it would take me about an hour of scrolling through Amazon orders, because me and my mom's account is linked up, and my dad's too. No, not my dad. Anyways, so yeah, and then map out all the areas where you want grass. Cut them all out very nicely, because as you can see, I messed up all there. I messed up throughout this whole thing. I wish I would have done it differently. And but you know what? It's my first one. I might have a second or third one. I might make more, but I'll know from my mistakes. So yeah, so just do all the grass next, and then don't get too ahead of yourself with like the planes and all the ground crew and stuff. You want to take it slowly, because if you get too far ahead of yourself, you're just gonna get so excited that you don't want to do it. That might sound dumb, but it might make sense to some of you. But it makes sense to me. And then after that, you're going to want to go on Amazon again, buy 2 packs of balsa wood that have 10 sheets in each one that are 1 foot by 1 foot. I'd repeat, if you want to actually do what I did, I would go rewind the video, pause that, and write it down, okay? And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to calculate the area and perimeters of your airport buildings and how you want them. Like on graph paper, like do the math on that. And then what you're going to want to do is what I did is with this balsa wood here, I would measure it all out and cut the pieces and measure them really well. And basically, so what I did is this airport building split up into 3 sections. So this building was A1. So on all of those pieces for this airport building, you write A1. This one was A2, write A2. This long shot right here is A3, write A3. But a few airports actually have a dent underneath there. So this hangs over. You can see that. What I did. Like all of that there. See? Like under there how it's all dented and stuff. So that's what I would do. So if you want to do that, you gotta do a lot of math and indent this just about 1/2 centimeter. And if you want, my airport is technically a single decker or a single story airport, but down here there's another story. But if you want this just about mine, I forgot how tall it is. But if you buy a Gemini Jet 747, you can measure that. It's about the height of the Gemini Jets 747-800, I think that this one is. So you can do that with all of them and stuff. And then after that, map out where you want your planes to be. Don't make them too cluttered together. I had a certain spacing for the narrow body and for the wide bodies. I had a certain spacing that I made, but I forgot what that measurement was. So make your own spacing and stuff, and then map out where you want them. Get a drill holes into these, okay? And then put your jet bridges in. I would do wide body. I would do the 2 bridge wide body ones for your wide bodies, and then get the Gemini Jets narrow bodies for your narrow bodies. But with painting this thing, before you paint this, you want to super glue all of the layers together. And if you have to build it in 2 layers because the balsa wood isn't big enough, hot glue it, and then grab a drill if you got a drill at home. And I did it the janky way. So if you have a sander at home, use that, or use a piece of sandpaper and waste away your time. But what I did is I got a drill, and I found a piece of sandpaper that goes in a sander, and I stuck it in that hole, and I hot glued it into a drill bit that I took out, and I just went ham on it to make it nice and smooth. And then to make these little windows, how they have the slits, I believe it's 3mm Tamiya masking tape that I used to make all these slits, and then paint this whole airport Tamiya NATO black, and then get another Tamiya of like the hand paints for your airbrush, because I'd use an airbrush or spray paint for this, or you could paint it however you want, but this is how I painted it. I painted it all NATO black, and then I put white, another coat of white, and another coat of white. Then I painted this whole face black. Then I masking taped all of the black off. I painted it all white for the little slits and stuff. it worked out very well. For this airport building, I'm still working out on, and I messed up on some parts, so ignore that building. So that's what I would do for that. And then for taxiway lines, what I did is all the taxiways have to be a minimum of 7 inches across. What is tickling my foot? Oh, I thought that was my cat. So make it a minimum of 7 inches across. And then at the halfway mark of 7 is where you want to put your taxiway lines. And what I did for my taxiway lines is I got the twistable crayons. So you're going to want to buy a few packs of those. Of the twistable crayons of waist to waist, $60 for like a few crayons. That's what I did for all of this. And get, again, that 6mm or whatever in the crap it is. To Maya masking tape or normal masking tape, make sure it's down really well, right in the center, and then scribble or then draw it all on there, take it off. You can reuse it too, but what I do is I put little dots with like a Sharpie pen like this or something, like the little pen, put like a dot, and then have the masking tape follow it. I'd make it probably, I think that this is like 1 to 2 millimeters thick, and then just, do that where you want. And then for the narrow bodies, what I would do is I would make this be 4 inches across, where with these little guys, 4 inches, and then 4 inches up, and then just use like something to do that. But for these, I did it differently because I got a protractor. I taped it down there, then I got masking tape, and I used a razor. It was treacherous. So if you guys have anything in the comments to say to the people watching this video to make it easier, like to say that my way is dumb or some crap, I won't be mad and I won't delete it because it's helping other people. If you can find a easier way to do these masking or to do these taxiway lines, that would be awesome. And share it with me too. And then you're gonna want to go for the wide bodies at least, and for all of them, the way that I measured it is I measured the wide bodies with the 747. I measured all these narrow bodies with the A350. So find these 2 engines right here, and then go right across up to the fuselage. Once you're pressed against the fuselage, draw this out, and you need masking tape for this too, and then make a big thing right here. There's supposed to be little red lines going in between there for the jet bridge, where it goes and stuff, but I'm not doing that yet. And then do that for the narrow bodies, but use the Gemini Jets 1/400 scale. Oh, and this is all 1/400 scale, by the way, when you buy the planes and buy the ground crew and buy the ATC tower and all that stuff. And the jet bridges too. And then I just did the same thing, go on the engines of the A3, and this isn't centered, but go on the engines and do that same thing. And then for a military area, you can really do that however you want. Mine isn't that realistic, so I'm not going to review it. For the hangar, I'm not reviewing that, but I'm just doing how to essentially make it. Then for the runway markings, my runway is 7 inches across. I'm not sure how long it is. I think it's probably like maybe 5.5 feet. And then make this little dent. These theoretically should be on both sides, but I'm really messed up because I originally made it to just have runway 20 on one side, but I added runway 7. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna want to have 3 on both sides, big line through. You can just kind of look at this and then have those 3 lines, all these dotted lines, those 2 lines, 2 dotted lines, 1, then the 2, then the big ones, then the 3 dotted lines still down the middle, 20. And I use masking tape for all of this. And then make sure you make it nice and straight, because mine is not straight because I didn't actually measure. I just kind of freehanded it. So yeah. Just get 1/400 scale planes, and everything here is 1/400 scale again. Super glue down your cart or your grass. But yeah, when I'm done with this airport in like a year, or I could actually make one right after this video on how to add realistic details to your airport. Or you could actually go watch... Oh. Hold on. What's my phone doing?